My grandfather eats far too much. Now I understand why my father forbade me from seeing him. Part 4. Dusk fell too fast. The kids arrived on foot, alone, drawn like moths. George waited on the porch, bloated, sweating, unable to rise. Blisters covered his hands. His jaw, elongated. He still smiled, but not like before. Something inside him was pushing out. Grandma begged them to leave. "You don't understand," she wept. "This isn't a game. Go home." "Please, Mrs. Arter, just one story," the kids pleaded. "Get out. Now," she hissed. "Let him be," Grandpa's voice growled from behind, making everyone jump. "Kids want stories." He shut the door after them. Grandpa swelled, grotesquely. Glassy-eyed, he stared at them, his pipe forgotten. He didn't speak, couldn't stand. The kids giggled nervously in a semicircle. I watched, helpless, knowing something terrible was coming. "Mr. Arter," one child said, "don't tell our parents we came, okay? They've banned us from going out, but we need your stories." "I won't tell," Grandpa gasped, clutching his chest. "Won't tell." Then I saw it. His shirt ripping, hands swelling, mouth unhinging wider than possible. He collapsed from his chair onto all fours. The kids screamed. So did I. His arms melted, fat dripping like candle wax. His distended belly dragged on the floor. Blisters erupted across his skin. God help me. His face slid into a wet, jagged grin of meat and fangs. Grandma stepped between him and the kids, gripping a fireplace poker, her eyes darting to me. "Run." "No more, George," she said. "If you want meat, take me." He didn't hesitate. One swift motion, her head vanished into his maw. The kids rushed the door, but it was locked. They pounded, shrieking. I stood frozen, praying this wasn't real. But it was. Grandpa, now a slithering mountain of hunger, gurgled, hissed, and dragged his bulk toward the children. I wish I could say I helped, but I couldn't. I vomited at the sounds, couldn't even look. Finally I moved, bolting to the attic, heart hammering. I stayed there, shaking, gasping, as the house filled with the sounds of slaughter, chewing, crunching bones. One voice, then another, then silence, sniffing, scratching. Something huge lumbered down the hall, snuffling, muttering. I pressed into the rafters, too afraid to cry. Hours stretched into centuries. Then, a wet, slurping voice. "Boy, come back. Feed your grandpa. I smell you." I buried myself in dust and shadows, praying to disappear. I stayed until the silence returned, and dawn crept in. I crept downstairs, stepping over bones and blood. Grandpa was gone. Only a greasy stain remained where he'd fallen. The house reeked of death. I vomited down my pants. Then I ran, until the road turned to asphalt. Didn't stop, even at headlights. I told no one, not the police, not the townsfolk. I don't know what happened after, where Grandpa went. I returned home. Couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I vomited, cried, had nightmares of that night. Months later at breakfast, I met Dad's eyes and asked, "Why didn't you tell me?" He stared into his coffee. "I hoped you'd never go there," he said softly. "You weren't supposed to know that address. Guess blood calls to blood." "What does that mean?" He looked up, eyes bitter. "You're not my son." Silence fell like snow. "I mean, you are my son. I raised you. I love you. But you're not mine. George brought you as a baby. Said he found you by the river. I didn't ask. Didn't want to know. But you're real parents." "What happened to them?" He swallowed. "George got hungry. That's all you need to know." "And you? How did you live with him?" "We moved town to town, keeping him fed, but it was never enough. When I was 16, we settled in Loudell. A month later, he brought you. I escaped with you. He stayed. For 18 years. Now I live with that truth. Try to forget. But some nights I wake tasting ash and smoke. I hear news reports. Missing animals. Missing people. I lock the windows. The guilt eats me alive. Those kids. I knew. I could have stopped it. Could have spoken up. But I was scared. And that, like the nightmares, will haunt me forever.